Hello there, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're cozy and you got something fun to drink because this might be a long one. I'm feeling a little bit chatty today. I've got a really fun video for you today. I'm going to be trying a lot of new makeup products and then reusing some that are just recent favorites. I'll be using the Beautiful Skin Foundation from Charlotte Tilbury. I've got a new baked blush from Milani. This is in Dulce. I don't know if that's the way you pronounce it. I have the Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt. Haven't used this, but I've heard a lot about it. And I'm also trying a new eyeliner today. I've been so in love with the L'Oreal Lay liners for so long. I thought I would go ahead and try a new one. This is the Revlon Color Stay Eyeliner Pencil. I got a huge PR package from Ofra. Thank you so very much, Ofra. I'll be using one of their blush palettes today and this gorgeous Frosted Glow for highlighter. I have the ABH Norvina palette. This is not a new palette, but it's just gorgeous. It's a classic. I can't wait to dip into this one. I'll be giving the Bambi Eye Mascara another whirl. I'm going to be using the Kosas Concealer today. If you haven't heard about this concealer, it's really very, very good. And I have a beautiful pink lipstick from L'Oreal. If you're new here, I'm so glad you stopped by for this one. I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. I hope you'll consider subscribing while you're here and make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. We're going to hop right into the makeup today, and as always, all products that I use and mention today will be listed and linked below, so super easy for you to find. And with that, let's hop into it. This is going to be a little bit chatty today. I just feel like talking about stuff. I've had the sniffles all week. I might sound a little congested to you. There may be sneezing. I don't know about you, but I'm in favor of let's bring back colds. Colds were just kind of easy and friendly, and you stayed on the couch and blew your nose for a few days and then it was over. So I'm all for colds. The other thing I want to talk to you about is I am just today finishing up my whole detox program from the book Getting Well Naturally. If you're not familiar with my channel, I'll catch you up a little bit. I launched on an anti-aging skincare routine about 2.5 years ago. Didn't know if it was going to work. It ended up working. My skin looks so much better than it did. What that created in me was a real curiosity about what I could do for my whole body if I gave it as much attention as the skin on my face. So I launched on this Get My Body Healthy program about 6 or 7 months ago. One of the integral parts of what I've been doing is I've been following the detox program in the book Getting Well Naturally from the Soil to the Stomach. It has taken me about 4 months to go through the whole detox process in that book. I did the parasite cleanse, I did the liver flush, I did the colon sweep, and I'm just now finishing up the purge. I don't know if I could adequately describe the difference in my body since I've gone through this detox program. It really is so surprising to me. What I could say is that I feel a lot lighter and a lot smoother and a lot less heavy and gunky in my body. Does that make any sense? Anyway, it's really been a very, very interesting process. And the thing that I want to look at today is my skin. The reason is that when I talked with Penny, I did a full interview with Penny Kelly, the author of the book, and what she said about the purge, which I'm just finishing that today, is that her skin looked like baby skin when she was done. So I thought it would be a good idea for us to really take a look at my skin. Now, clearly, I'm not saying, look at how great my skin is. What I'm saying is, look what happens to your skin when you do this whole detox program. And I can tell you, I have absolutely been looking in the mirror lately going, wow. What a difference. It just seems like my skin is fresher and tighter and smoother. It's just been miraculous. If you're interested in getting your body really healthy, I can highly recommend the book. I actually think I'm going to do a whole video on my experience of all the detoxes. I am going to continue to do the detox program. Penny does it 4 times a year. I don't know if I'm committed that much. I might do it 3 times a year. It took me a whole 4 months to do this initial round just because I wanted to take my time and I didn't want to rush from one to the next. I had a really, really rough time with the liver flush. Is it liver flush or liver cleanse? I don't know. Anyway, the liver one, it was rough on me. However, what I knew afterwards is that I really needed to do it So I'm going to go ahead and give myself a few weeks of a break, and then I'm going to launch into the whole thing again. So I'll start again with the parasite cleanse, do the liver, do the colon, and then do the purge. One of the other processes in the book that I want to tell you I love so much. I love, 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 love it because it feels so good. And if you have the book, you can look this up. It is the olive oil and castor oil sweat bath. I'll tell you what, that is one of my favorite things to do because it feels so very good. What you do is that you make a mixture of half castor oil and half olive oil. You slather that all over your body except the bottoms of your feet. You don't want to be sliding around on your feet. And then you sit in a hot bath with water as hot as you can take it for about 15 to 20 minutes. Then you pull yourself out of the bath, dry off, kind of leave the oil in place so you just sort of pat dry, and then go lay down on a bed and create like a little blanket burrito so that you continue to sweat. I'll tell you what, that is the most luxurious, wonderful feeling process. And I get such an endorphin rush when I do that. I look forward to doing it. I actually did it last night, not the full thing. I didn't do the burrito blanket thing afterwards. But what I did is I drew a really hot bath. I put some Epsom salts in there and a little bit of an aromatherapy scent oil that I use for my bath. And then I just put a thin coating of the castor oil and olive oil on my body and sat in the bath for about 15 minutes. One thing that does, even if you don't do the whole burrito blanket thing afterwards, is it really deeply, deeply moisturizes my skin. Of course, it's winter where I am and it's cold. We get down into the teens and it gets maybe up into the 40s or 50s during the day. But my skin has been really, really dry, and I thought this would be a wonderful way to give my skin a lot of moisture. And I'll tell you what, my skin feels so very smooth. Anyway, that's my update about the detox program. I am so excited about continuing to do it because my body feels so different and so much better than it did when I first started. So thrilled about that. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the makeup now. I'm going to start with the City Beauty Lid Lifting Treatment. I have fallen in love with this stuff. When City Beauty first sends me stuff, I very rarely get excited about it out of the gate. I sort of put it aside and then I end up trying it and then usually I end up falling in love with it. What this does is it really seems to smooth out the wrinkles and crinkles on my eyelids. You actually can use this both as an eyelid lifting treatment and an eyeshadow primer. I go ahead and use another primer because I like to have the veins and discoloration on my lids covered up. I just put this on to really firm up my eyelids a little bit. For a primer today, I'm going to be using the Stila One Step Correct. I actually used this quite a bit about a year ago. I really do like this primer. It is a higher end price point, but it does a wonderful job of really evening out your skin tone prior to putting on foundation. So I'm going to go ahead and just smooth that over my skin. And then, of course, my Beauty Pie Under Eye Genius. You guys know I love this stuff. I'll tell you what, the difference in the way my skin feels when I put makeup on is so different now than way back when I very first started my channel. And even since I started doing the detox, it's really, it's funny when you take care of your body, it really does do miraculous things. For eyeshadow primer, I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This has really been my favorite lately simply because I have discoloration on my lids. You can see the veining right there and I like to have it covered up because it really does help my eyeshadow look a lot prettier and lay down a lot nicer. The real challenge with this is getting a small enough amount so that you don't have too much on your lids. While that eyeshadow primer is laying down and drying, I'm going to go ahead and work on my brows. I've been looking at this Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt for a long time now. Haven't used it at all. I went ahead and picked it up in the color Blonde. I'm not sure if I'm going to need to use a pencil in addition to this, if I can get it open. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was hard to open. Okay, so we have a tiny little container here and it has just a small little spoolie right on the end. I'm just going to go ahead and start brushing that through my brows. Okay, I think I'm going to need to go in with a pencil and then just sort of use this at the very end to set my brows. I'm going to use another Revlon Color Stay product. This is their Brow Creator. This is the one I've really been loving lately. It's just so stinking handy. It has the pencil. Inside it has a little sponge with a powder formula that you go ahead and put on your brows, and it really fills things in quickly. You know, I have never really purchased, I don't think, a high-end brow product. I just can't imagine how it would be worth the money. I've never done the Benefit products. I probably should. Anyway, I'm not there yet to spend big money on a brow product. For eyeshadow today, I'm using the Norvina palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I love this palette. It's not a new palette. It's been around for a while. And I was actually in Sephora looking at some other things, and I saw this palette and I just sort of fell in love, so I threw it in my cart. I think this is just such a pretty palette. It has some beautiful colorful tones. It also has some great neutrals in here. I'm going to go ahead and take my BK Beauty 201 brush and dip it into this color Base right here. And that's just going to be a very light coating from top to bottom on both lids. I just really want to set down that eyeshadow primer. I have no idea what kind of look I'm going to create today. Now I'm going to take the Angie 502 brush and I'm going to dip it into this soft kind of dusty pink color right here called Love. And that's going to go in the transition area right above my natural crease. And I just want it really softly up there. And you see that I'm actually placing it right above where that crease is because I want to create more depth in my eye in that area. Now that I have that color laid down, I'm going to go back in with the 201 brush, big fluffy brush, and just blend that in really well. I find blending is just the key to eyeshadow, particularly when you're a little bit older, because it can really look patchy if your lids are not taut like they used to be. So I try to make sure that everything is blended really, really well. Now I'm going to take a little pointed brush. This is the Rephr 03 brush, and I'm going to dip it into this cool brown right here. That's called Volatile. Get a little bit on the tip of those bristles, tap it off, and then that's going to go deep into the crease on the outside corner of that eye, just to really add a little bit more depth to that area. I'm going to bring it down along the lash line a little bit. I love this brush. It is such a good brush for detail work, to making sure that the shadow gets exactly where you want it to go. Now I'm going to go back in with that big fluffy brush and just blend those edges out. I don't want to move that very much. I just want to keep in the outside corner of my eye, just creating some depth and interest there. Now I'm going to take a flat brush. This is my Rephr 02 and dip it into this shimmer pink shade right here called Wild Child. I'm going to get a little bit on both sides of the brush, tap it off, and that's going to go right on the movable lid, almost 2/3 of the way down towards the inner corner. Now I'm going to take that same brush and dip it into this color Dreamer right here. This is kind of a soft, creamy gold shade, and that's going to go right on the inside corner of my movable lid, just to brighten it up there. Now I'm going to take that big fluffy brush and just blend those edges out. Now I'm going to take that big fluffy brush and go back into the first color I started with, the color Love. Get a little bit on that, and then that's just going to go, I'm just going to add a little bit more to that area right underneath the brow. For foundation today, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Beautiful Skin Foundation. I actually did a full video on this a few weeks ago. I really love this foundation. It's really easy to work with. It looks so pretty on the skin. I did a little road trip to Vegas recently, and this was the only foundation I took with me. It really is a very solid, pretty foundation. I enjoy working with it quite a bit. I'm going to start with about 1.5 pumps on the back of my hand. It's very hydrating, a good medium coverage. You can build it up. This is my Rephr 31 brush. And of course, always have to press it in with my sponge. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to use a sponge with you guys without cracking up. It just leaves the prettiest finish on the skin, I promise. For bronzer today, I'm going to be using the Milani Dolce. This is one of their baked bronzers, and you know, I don't know that I've tried any of the baked bronzers. I have a Milani Silky Matte Bronzer, which I absolutely love. It's in the color Sunkissed. So gorgeous. This one does look a little bit warm. That's not my favorite. I actually prefer a cooler bronzer, but we'll go in kind of lightly and see what it does. I love the Milani Baked Blush line. It just is so pretty, but I don't think I've used any of the baked bronzers. This really has sort of a gold undertone to it. To contour under my chin, I'm going to use the Fenty Cream Bronzer. This is in the color Amber. And I just run that right underneath my ear and down along my chin line, and then work that into my neck area. I actually think that bronzer looks kind of pretty. I was a little worried about that gold, but you know, I'm kind of liking it. For blush today, I'm going to be using the Ofra Blushful palette. They sent this to me in PR. I haven't even swatched this. Isn't that pretty? There's 6 colors in here, everything from a peach to a bright pink to a coral to a real terracotta, plum, just the prettiest combination of colors. I'm going to go ahead and take my blush brush. I'm going to start off with this soft pink tone right here and start placing that on the cheeks. I don't think I've ever used an Ofra blush, so I don't know what to expect here, how pigmented it's going to be. Gosh, it's a pretty color though, huh? Okay, I'm just going to press that in a little bit. Now I want to take that same blush brush and I want to go into this hot pink right here just a little bit, just because it looks like so much fun. Just a little bit on the front part of my cheeks. Kind of goes with my shirt. Now I'm going to take a big fluffy brush and just blend those in. For a highlight today, I'm also going to be using a product from Ofra. This came in a set. I think it was called Winter Glow or something like this. This is the Signature Palette Frosted Glow. Look at that. Isn't that just so very pretty? Let's go ahead and swatch these. I want to see what they look like. Everything from a real icy color down to a bronze right here. So here we have it. Oh my gosh. Isn't that pretty? What's wonderful about this is that you can get everything that you need. So if you wanted a very icy look down to just a real bronze, oh, it's so pretty. And they feel really, really creamy. Interesting. I'm going to take a little brush right here and gosh, what color do I want? I think I'm going to dip into this one right here. What color is that? I can't read it. No way. That type is tiny. So just a little bit. I'm going to put just a little underneath my brows. Then I'm going to go back in with that big fluffy brush and blend it out. I'm definitely looking very pink today. I've gone ahead and curled my lashes with the Rephr eyelash curler. This thing is the bomb. Now I'm going to jump into the Color Stay Eyeliner Pencil. This is from Revlon and I got the color black. Haven't even opened this yet. It's an automatic twist up pencil right here and you have a rubber smudging tool on the other end. So I'm going to go ahead and just tight line it with this. And then I'm going to drag it along the lash line just a little bit. And then go in with that smudging tool and smudge it out. The real test for me when I'm using a new eyeliner pencil is if when I tight line, if that color transfers from the upper lid down to the lower lid. It hasn't yet, but I'll keep you posted on that. Now I'm going to use the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Base. I love this stuff. So affordable, so good. Okay, you guys, I did it again. I forgot to put on my concealer. I don't know what I'm thinking lately. You know what it is because that Under Eye Genius makes my under eyes look so much better. I forget to do it. I'm going to go ahead and just pop a little bit of the Kosas concealer underneath my eyes. This is really a nice little concealer. I'm going to take my sponge and work that in. And now I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Bambi Eye Mascara. I used this several months ago. I can't really remember how I liked it, so we'll give it a whirl today. It comes with a shorter mascara wand than a lot of mascaras, and it has rubber bristles. I like rubber bristles. I know a lot of you don't. If you don't like rubber bristles, you're not going to like this because that's what we have going on here. So here we have one coat of the Bambi Eyes. You can see the mascara here and then no mascara here. And here we have 2 coats on both lashes. What I can say about this is that it does lengthen. I don't know that it volumizes as well as some other mascaras, but the lashes definitely look very pretty. For lips today, I'm going to be using the NYX pencil in Con. And the L'Oreal, this is the color Rieslein. This is in Polished Tango. Here's the lip liner right here in Con, and then Polished Tango right here. I chose a little bit darker lip liner today because I wanted to create a little bit more depth in the lips. So I'm just going to smudge that out with my finger. Really soften up that line. These Color Reach lipsticks are so yummy. They're just creamy and hydrating and moisturizing. They're just so fun. So here we have the lipstick. Here we have the finished look. Gosh, it was a lot of fun to work with some pretty springtime colors. The Norvina palette from the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is just a classic palette. The quality is beautiful. The colorway is just stunning. You could put together so many gorgeous looks with this palette. And of course, this is why it's been around for so long. It's such a classic. What I experienced with this palette is that the shadows went on really easily, hardly any fallout at all, and I wasn't being careful. I do like the fact that there's cool tones and warm tones in here, that you could do a neutral look or a very colorful look. I love this periwinkle blue here and the purple here. Oh my gosh, there's so much you can do with this palette. Still a classic, not to be overlooked, the Norvina palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. The Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Foundation, I think this is just going to end up being a classic. It looks so pretty on the skin, just the slightest amount of glow. Easy to apply, no polka dot pores, blends in beautifully, just a really, really solid, beautiful looking foundation, and I think it works really well for mature skin. I'll tell you what, I enjoyed this Milani Baked Blush a lot more than I thought I would. I don't know why I picked this color up. I usually don't go for these warm goldy tones on my face, but I think it looks really pretty. I'm actually anxious to use this during the summer when I have a little bit more color on my face. I think it's going to look really pretty with that kind of gold undertone. The Maybelline Brow Fest Sculpt, I don't know you guys, I don't really see a point in this too much unless you want something to really set your brows down. It does really hold your brows in place. I like what a pencil does. So using a pencil first and then going in with this to really set your brows down and add a little bit more color, I can see the use in that. This is not very expensive, so if you don't have a brow setting gel, this might be a good one to give a try. The Revlon Color Stay, this is their eyeliner. I can tell you that the color from my tight lining from my upper lid has not bled down to the bottom lid, so that's good. I'll keep an eye on it today and continue to use this, and we'll see how it ends up working out. The Blush Pro palette from Ofra, really like this palette. What I find really wonderful is all the different colors available. Everything from a very peachy peach down to a bright pink, terracotta coral, soft pink, really beautiful. It put just the most beautiful color on the cheeks, blended in really well. I think it looks very, very natural and pretty. And the Signature Frosted Glow highlighter palette from Ofra, you know, when we think of Ofra, at least when I think of Ofra, I think of highlighters. This is a beautiful palette. Again, I like the fact that the range is so broad. Often when you get a palette, sometimes there's duplicates or it just doesn't go very far. There's just pinks or peaches or dusty roses. This highlighter palette, like the blush palette, goes a full range. So you have very, very icy all the way down to very bronzy. Really enjoyed this. You know, one thing I can say is I thought it was going to be beaming and a little bit over the top. In my opinion, it is just so soft and sophisticated and beautiful. So a big fan of this one. And the Polish Tango lipstick from L'Oreal. God, I love this color. I want to put on some more. Isn't that just the prettiest color? Such a great tone for spring and to brighten up any look. I want to thank you for joining me for this very chatty Get Ready with me. It was a lot of fun to talk with you about my detox program and this new fun makeup. I hope you found it fun, useful, and helpful. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. You guys know it just tickles me when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. Make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.